Hi everyone. Today I want to share with you a couple tips about how to warm up for exercise, and then we'll get into our exercise challenge for the week. Now the first thing I want to let you know is that the best way to warm up for whatever exercise you're going to do is actually just a slower version of whatever it is you're doing. So example, if you're going to go out walking, you just want to start off at a slower pace. If you're going to run, start with a walk or a slow jog. If you're on the stationary bike, go ahead and just pedal slowly for the first, say, 5 minutes or so. And what's happening here is that your body is preparing itself for the energy demand that you're going to put on it for the heavier exercise. There's actually some interesting things that go on when you first start to exercise. Your heart will enlarge a little bit to keep up with the higher demand for blood flow that you're giving it. Another thing is that some of the blood, for example, that is normally directed towards your digestive system, that's going to be directed away now to your other working muscles. And what you need to do during this warm-up is give yourself a chance for all of those things to take place so it's not uncomfortable for you. Okay, the second thing I want to talk about is stretching. Now, I know when I was younger, I was always taught the proper way to stretch was to pick a position for whatever muscle you wanted to stretch and sort of hold that for a certain amount of time. So to stretch your quadriceps here, the front of your leg, you might hold this position and hold it for 20 seconds or so. For your hamstrings, you would bend over and you'd lean into that and stretch that muscle. Now, those are all great, appropriate stretches for after you exercise, but we've gotten smarter now and we've learned a couple things. The proper way to stretch before exercise is what we call dynamic stretching, and that is going to be where you are stretching your muscle, but you do it with motion, so you're moving it through a range of motion. Let me give you some examples. We're going to start from head and head our way down. So, the first thing you might want to do is stretch out your neck, and that would be a motion like this, side to side. Now, I don't know about you, but I know for me, I often hold some tension there in my neck, and what I've learned over the last few years of running is that I can have tension up here, and it is causing me aches and pains all the way down to my feet. So, if you head out for exercise and you're tight up here, it can affect the way that your muscles work, all of them, even things you wouldn't think would be related, like your feet, and you're going to be a lot more comfortable when you get that tension out. Working our way to shoulders, okay, we can do some shoulder circles like this. Start out slow and small circles, and then we're going to widen that. Now that also is going to get rid of the tension that's in your neck and your shoulders. Okay, you can come across your body like this. And we're going to work our way down a little bit more now into our trunk. And you're just going to go to the side. Okay, nice, easy. Now the first time you bend over, you might get this far, but the next time, take it a little further. Okay, so you see how we're stretching, but we're going through a dynamic range. Over to the other side. Now you can also do a core rotation. So you're going to come around like this. So we're loosening up our muscles, preparing them for the demand that we're going to put on them. And we also start moving some blood into those areas too. So we're just a little bit ahead of the game by the time we start exercising. For your hip joint, a great thing to do is stand on one leg. If this is difficult for you, you can be holding on to something for balance. But then I want you to swing your leg through a range of motion, and you can make that a little bit bigger as you go on. It's really going to loosen up your hips. Of course, you'd want to do the other side as well. You can also come in front of your body. Okay, and in the back. That one's a little tougher. Alright, moving down a little bit more in your legs. You can always do some high kicks. So I hope you've gotten the idea now of how we want to properly warm up for exercise. You can always just start off with the slower version of whatever exercise you're going to do. And if we're talking strength training, the other way to say that is just lighter weights for whatever exercise you're going to be doing. So your first set, you definitely shouldn't be pushing any heavy weight. You just want to get some blood flow into those muscles. And the other thing you want to do, stretching wise, is that dynamic stretching that's going to move the muscles through a range of motion, but still get that stretch in there. So for me, the best part of teaching you guys what you need to do to warm up properly is that along with that, in order to put it into practice, you need to do the exercise that's going to follow the warm-up, which is definitely what's going to help you guys get to your goals. So this week, our exercise challenge is to get in 3 workouts, whatever that may be, and to use some of these proper warm-up techniques beforehand. Hope you've learned something, and get out there and do those workouts.